2022 and ChatGPT came out, I was like, man, I think my company is doomed. Quite frankly, most people suck at writing for social media. I don't care if you have a a poop scooping company, like you can use AI to grow your business.
Sam Altman just raised $6.6 billion for OpenAI.
It's just not sexy for a leader, especially a CEO, to say, hey, look, I was able to.
Hi, and welcome to the 91-Day AI Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Mast, and I am thrilled today to have one of the premier AI persona experts and a whole bunch of other stuff with me, Jeff Hunter. Jeff and I met recently in Cancun. We were both speaking at an event down there to an amazing group of business people, and Jeff and I really hit it off, and we've got to chat about some things. And Jeff, thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited to kind of unpack your story, share that with some other people on that. As we get started, if people aren't familiar with you, can you give us kind of the elevator pitch? Who's Jeff Hunter, and talk to us about Savage Marketer?
Wow. Well, thank you, by the way, for having me on the show. And it's been fun. I started out my whole life has kind of been in IT, and I've always been kind of a geeky guy. And I was a Fortune 500 IT project manager in a past life before I started this crazy entrepreneurial world. And I started a company 10 years ago called VA Staffer. It's a virtual assistant Philippines. That's kind of a virtual assistant company. We're based in the Philippines.
Yep.
And that's been really fun. We have 150 people. And like you said, I kind of got into it because in November of 2022 and ChatGPT came out, I was like, man, I think my company is doomed. AI is coming out. And why would people want to hire a human when they can get AI to do it for free? And, it's interesting. When I first became an entrepreneur, I kind of fell flat on my face because I didn't really know how to make sales or how to do marketing. So I became really obsessed with just how to do marketing. And that's where the Savage Marketer was born. So now I have, I would say 150 plus people on my team, and I serve a couple hundred clients. And I think our business has been doubling pretty much every year since it started. So that's good.
That's amazing, man. What a great story. I love it. Well, I'd love, you and I talked a bit when we were down in Cancun. We've obviously talked dozens of times since then as we've been working together, but tell everybody a little bit about that journey that you made, and how did you decide to actually get into AI? And specifically, one of the things, Jeff, that you've taught me a lot about is training the custom personas or custom avatars, basically essentially creating an AI trained bot that's going to actually do certain tasks. Can you tell us how you made it into that, and what caused you to head down that road?
Well, I'd say desperation.
Fair enough. Been there, done that.
Yeah. So I really was desperate to figure out how to get AI to, not be a threat to my team. And I created an AI task force. I flew to the Philippines in desperation. I said, oh my God, guys, AI is coming. Watch out. We have to prove to the world that we're better. And I whipped out my laptop. I started showing them the things that ChatGPT did, and all of them were jaw dropped. I said, oh no. So we all kind of collectively decided that we couldn't beat them. So we're going to join them. Now, the real problem, though, is that I couldn't figure out how to get my team to really adopt AI. I think that was the real problem is, number one, they don't know anything about it, and they're afraid that AI is going to take their job. So I came up with this idea. I said, what if we could train the AI to be kind of like their assistant, to be their own little AI persona that could help them do their jobs better? Then it was a less of a threat. And I come up with this framework. It's only 6 steps that basically shows people exactly how to create it, basically how to craft the perfect AI employee for your business that would do a specific thing. And this is where my background as an AI project man, or an IT project manager came into play, because we know as project managers, we always work at the result and we work backwards.
Yes.
So what result do we want to get? And then we work backwards. How do we get there? And so, for example, if my HR person, for example, she hates doing performance improvement plans. She hates writing up people. She hates writing, emails to clients. And that was one of the very first things that we did was we created an HR assistant to work with my HR manager and craft this stuff. So what we did was we started giving it a perfect role. What if you were going to be an HR assistant? What would things you need to be? So we started thinking about crafting this personality. What would they do? What would they specialize in? What was their personality type? Then we went into, how can you give it information about the audience that it's served, who it's going to be helping? And then once we gave it enough data, it really started understanding itself and really wanted to contribute as part of the team. And that was a mind blowing kind of discovery for me. I said, oh my gosh, we can create these little AI personas and people want to learn about them. And
Yes.
people were excited to use them because they were using them to do stuff they didn't want to do in the first place.
I love that. I think, Jeff, that to me, that was one of the things that really struck through to me when we started talking about personas, is that we're talking about doing tasks that we and our teams don't want to do anyway. They're things that need to be done, but they're routine, they're repetitive, they're oftentimes boring, but they're really important and they're necessary as a cog in that machine to make sure everything goes well. But nobody really wants to do them. And as a
Or,
result, our human
or,
employees don't always do them well because they get bored.
or flip the script, stuff that we're not good at, right?
Oh,
Like, for example,
me.
I've spent 8 years of my life, like most people would love to be able to write a great story, but most people suck at writing stories. I've spent 8 years of my life really figuring out through the marketing channel, like, how do I write a good story? How do I tell a good story? And I came up with my own copywriting style. And quite
Mhm.
frankly, most people suck at writing for social media. You know me, so I can go viral pretty much every day on social media just by writing a post, um, for good and bad reasons.
Yep.
But the point is, I know how to get attention online, and most people don't. So I'm creating AI tools to help people write stories that get attention, that go viral. And yeah, maybe somebody wants to learn how to do that, but at the end of the day, I've got an AI tool that'll write better than it would take you years to write as good as the AI tool that I've built that you can use in 2 minutes, right? So
Absolutely.
there's two sides of the coin. There's the, hey, let's get rid of the stuff that we don't want to do. And then there's, hey, what's AI better at that I can leverage to basically up level, upskill what I'm doing?
Mm,
I
yeah.
do want to remind you, Jonathan, you and I know this already, but the highest adoption rate of AI are students who don't want to do homework. It's still the highest adoption rate. Kids who don't want to do their homework. I have a 12-year-old who's using AI.
And that would have been me. I mean, yeah, I would have been the one in school right now going, you try to prove this was AI because I'm going to work 10 times harder just so that I can use AI and prove that you can't tell the difference. So
Imagine if
totally get that.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off was shot today.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean,
That'd be a great idea.
right? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, he'd have AI doing everything.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, I love that. That's a great way to look at it. So talk to me about the naysayers in the group. I know, our audience is made up of a lot of entrepreneurs, business leaders. We've got a lot of people interested in AI, but there's a lot of skeptics out there too going, Jonathan, there is no way that you and Jeff can create stuff that is going to work in my business. It's going to allow me to automate aspects. Can you give us a couple of just real basic practical examples of what some of these avatars can do and how businesses are leveraging them?
Well, well, well. I just happen to have a book here in my hand.
Ah, yes, there we go.
So I just recently got featured. I have my whole chapter 14, in Dan Kennedy's latest book. And
Congrats on that, by the way. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, thank you. And I literally talk about how I created a Black Friday offer that brought in like over $70,000, and it's completely created by AI. The offer is created by AI. The sales script, the video sales letter, the script that I actually read on camera. We used AI to change my eyes so they looked at the camera. Even
Yep.
some of the upsell pages are not even me. They're AI versions of me that you would never know. It's actually
Mm,
not me. We used it to create marketing emails. We used it to create social media content. We used it to create a survey we sent out to find out what people wanted to buy and what they needed help with. Like there's so many different, these AI personas. So we have them set up for doing copywriting. We have them set up for doing, marketing for emails, setting up, for me personally, just because I am a copywriter, like that's what I get paid for. I try to,
Yep.
most of everything I do is in copy creation, but we even used AI to create all the icons and the book covers and everything for the bonuses. Like we are a massive machine now thanks to AI. And the cool part is anybody can do it. I don't care if you have a a poop scooping company. Like you can use AI to grow your business. You can use it to generate leads, to help scrape the internet do a competitor analysis, figure out what they offer. One of the things that was really cool about why I got featured in this book is because I actually used AI to analyze my competitors and then say, hey, look at my offer, look at my competitors. How can I make my offer better than theirs?
Oh, I
And it
love
was
that.
just mind blowing.
All right, so I got to ask you. I know the answer because you and I have talked about it, but our audience doesn't. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Llama, Mistral, favorite model. What today as we record this, and I know it changes, but October 10th we're recording this, so I will only hold you to it for 10 minutes. October 10th,
Right
3:50 Eastern
now,
time. Jeff's favorite model is.
I would say that just because I do mostly copywriting, I would say that Claude is kind of my go to just because I use it mainly for writing. But I will have to say, I really do dig ChatGPT's new canvas that they just released this week.
I was just going
ChatGPT,
to go there and ask you about that.
yeah,
It's not for me. You and I know. I'm a huge. In particular, I love combining Perplexity and Claude together. You know
yeah.
that we've talked about that. But
Perplexity
yeah,
is growing on me, Jonathan, and thanks to you. Jonathan came
well,
to my community and did a really awesome training on how he's using it to like vet articles online about AI and helping it build out newsletters. And he built his own AI persona that literally is a newsletter writer. Like that's impressive stuff. So I have to say, Perplexity is definitely up on my top three. So probably for me, in order, I would say Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, I guess, or maybe
yeah.
even Perplexity above ChatGPT, just because the advanced search features and the ability to use Claude inside Perplexity is pretty cool.
I agree with you. Although I tell you, the new Canvas from ChatGPT, and by the way, if you're listening, that's not Canva, the graphics app. Somebody at OpenAI has got to actually hire a branding person at some point here, because between the 4.0 that everybody calls 4.0 and all their new stuff, and now Canvas, when everybody's thinking about Canva, they really need a new branding person. But Jeff, maybe we can get you to help them with that. But yeah, it's Canvas is really cool. The ability to go in and this is, I don't know why, but it really blew my mind, to create an outline and then actually change that within ChatGPT and then have ChatGPT continue on with what you just changed was, to me, was like, oh my, that just, from a workflow perspective, that just saved me hours every week. Just,
Yeah,
it was absolutely.
for those of you who haven't played with it, imagine you can now actually have, ChatGPT create something. Let's just say it's an outline, right? And then, you don't like something or you want to change a chapter, you can literally highlight something and you can press the little button and then it says explain and you can just say, "Well, I really don't like this one. I'd rather you focus on whatever." And it doesn't even all the document stays the same. It only edits that one thing. So really it's kind of like, honestly, Canvas is really the best word for it. It is a shame branding wise. It sucks. Honestly, Claude Artifacts, I thought that was horrible.
I'm with you.
I
I'm
think
with you.
I think these guys are all nerdy. They're geeky people, and they think about stuff. They don't think about like the long term. Like who's good at coming up with names? Apple, right?
Yeah,
Like
no
they got
doubt.
like it's so funny. Like Apple comes out with AI. What's it called? Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
It's like easy, right? So Canvas just gives you the ability to basically edit in place. That
Hmm.
is the key. edit in place, like the ability to have ChatGPT pop up something like a Word document. You can edit on it. And the cool part is you're communicating back and forth with ChatGPT saying, hey, I want to make this bigger, longer. There's a slider. You can make it longer, shorter. You can even change the grading, the reading level to a different grade level on the fly. You can have it add emojis. Like there's so many cool things you can do. And you can always restore versions. I found that out last night, by the way. You
Yeah,
can,
isn't that cool? Yes.
if you mess it up, you can press the back button, unlike all the other AI tools out there.
Yeah, no, it's cool. One, and I got to admit, a part of what I love about it is it's cool, but I love that it's competition that's driving this. You know, there's
Yeah.
all these naysayers out there going, "Oh my God, AI is going to kill us. It's going to be the end of the world." And competition's making this better because, in my mind, Canvas is an absolute salvo back for Claude artifacts. Claude came out with artifacts, and they came out with Canvas. And I don't know if you noticed yesterday, it was actually somebody in one of your groups mentioned it. And I noticed the pop up the day before, and I'm like, I thought it was a plugin that I'd installed in my browser, so I ignored it. But Claude has now added the ability
Yep.
inside artifacts to have it, you can highlight things and go, please explain or please expand
Yep.
on this. And I'm like, okay, so artifacts, Canvas, artifacts improved. I love when competition is driving innovation like that. I just think it is so incredibly cool.
Yeah. And, the thing that's really interesting, I think what really kind of messed OpenAI up, actually, I think the whole industry got messed up by OpenAI, because I remember when ChatGPT 3.0 came out, or whatever it was, the free version, I think it was
Yep.
3.0. When it came out, 3.5, I think is what it was. When ChatGPT came out, it was free, and I was like, wow,
Yep.
this is really incredible. They had the fastest user growth in existence, right? To 100 million. It was so fast. But what was really interesting was, I remember when they were trying to figure out what their pricing model was going to be. And they sent out the little survey, and the survey was like, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 40 to 50. The highest it went was $75. I said,
Mm,
this is going to literally change the world if it's going to be the first real public access to AI technology is that cheap. It ain't
yeah.
going to go higher. It's always going to go
No,
lower. That's how capitalism works. You
it
know,
is.
the prices always go lower. And what was really bizarre is, like, now we're at $20 a month, and they're adding all these new features, and it's like, this is a great thing for application, but at the same time I'm also thinking, man, like, where is going to be the financial incentive for another AI company to come out when they know they have to compete with a tool as good as ChatGPT for $20 a month? You know,
Yeah,
like,
I
so
know it.
that's the bad side of the competition, is that I feel like OpenAI really undercut everyone coming out for $20.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, it has, and I think it's caused some issues along the way. I mean, you're not as old as I am, but I remember when the cell phones first came out. And to get a cell phone back in, this would have been the early '90s or so. Was thousands of dollars, and it was a big luggable bag phone, and that'd be like spending
I'm
10
not
grand on
that
one
young, my
today.
guy. Let me tell
Yeah,
you,
well, you
in
got me
high
beat a little bit.
school, get ready for this. I had a Motorola StarTAC phone. Okay.
Oh, there you go. I
Remember
remember
those? The
those. Oh
StarTACs, the
yes.
little flip phone? It was like, I
I
was like, dude, I thought I was so cool. I had the little holster too. It was in my belt, a little, little flip that now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. No, I agree with what you're saying, and I think that's an interesting paradigm that's happened there. What amazes me though, and I were just talking about this beforehand, on the other side, on the API side, where we basically pay as we go. See, we pay for every use. One of the things that's continued to amaze me is how those costs have continued to drop. I mean, we were just sharing before. I looked at my API costs for last month, and they were lower than they've ever been, and we're producing more queries than we've ever done before.
It's just nuts. And like I said, the volume of what we're doing too. Like, when I was developing out my own AI apps using the Open API key 18 months ago, 20 months ago, I was paying quite a bit. Like, and now it's down to a fraction, maybe like 2, 3, 4% of what I was paying just 2 years ago. And it makes you also think, like, the competition. I honestly believe, and I don't know if you saw this, but OpenAI just raised the biggest raise in the history of this
No,
friggin' earth.
I
Like,
did not see that. No,
yeah,
tell me about it.
Sam Altman raised the highest amount of money ever raised. Let me see what it is. Sam Altman, highest raise ever. All right.
According to Medium, Sam Altman just raised $6.6 billion for OpenAI. But this is only the beginning of the AI arms race rocket after announcing a record $6.6 billion funding round. OpenAI revealed it also.
Wow.
6.6 billion Sam Altman just raised.
Wow.
The highest ever.
That is
Ever.
mind blowing. I mean,
Imagine the
literally mind blowing.
imagine the valuation if you've raised 6 billion, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it makes Microsoft 10 million of last year look like they got it for a song.
oh my gosh, Microsoft got the best deal ever last year,
Well,
right?
I mean, let's be honest. They can't create amazing software, so it's better if they buy somebody else. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I probably did.
You said the silent part out loud.
Yes, I did that all the time. I'm known for that. Sorry, if you're a Microsoft fan, I'm sorry, guys, but it's interesting. Speaking of that, people ask me, I've got a Facebook group that I run, and people ask me all the time, why do you not talk about Bing? And I'm like, well, Bing is just a relabeled and I won't say the word version of ChatGPT.
Right.
Why would I use the stepchild when I can use the real thing? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
and Microsoft's done what they've always done, which is they've improved it by making it proprietary, in which case it doesn't, in my mind, work as well. But anyway, that's a rabbit hole we don't need to
Although
go down.
Microsoft Designer, they did a good job. I feel like
They did.
they're trying to
Microsoft
compete with
doesn't.
Canva there pretty good.
Yeah, they did. They've done some good things over the years. I don't mean
Yeah.
to say that they haven't, and I've used their
I'm not a
software.
I'm not a Microsoft hater. I'm not a Microsoft fan. But like
Yeah,
you
I'm
said,
kind of
they're just white
agnostic.
labeling ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all good. I don't have any problem with it. It's just it's interesting. There's definitely some fans out there that love it, and I've got my things I'm fans of too. So I get it. No big deal. Well, let's talk a little bit, Jeff. We could go on and on about AI stuff forever, but let's talk about some practical uses. Business leaders that are out there right now, they're going, okay, I get it. AI is not going away. It's not just a fad. I need to figure out how to do it. And I'm I'm kind of afraid, candidly, Jeff, that my competition's going to start using it if I don't. What's your advice to those business leaders in the next 3 months, next 91 days? They don't have to change the world, but what should they be doing in the next 3 months to implement AI in their organizations to get some quick wins so they can build some credibility and build some momentum that'll help keep them ahead of that wave?
Well, the first thing is they have to really have a determination of just their AI readiness in general, right?
Mm,
Like, what does your AI readiness look like? And every leader should have some sort of AI readiness, um, preparedness. So number one, let's just run through how to know if you're ready for
I
the
was just saying,
AI.
yeah. How do you tell that? Yeah.
Well, number one is, have you identified and collected, necessary data to train AI models? That's
Mm.
priority number one. Is, do you actually have training data, right? I actually have a whole new division in my company that's their job now, is to build training data for my clients,
So important. So
right?
important, though.
And the best part is, they're VAs. It's a really time consuming task to do this, and most people are not ready. They're just not ready. You know.
I don't
Here's
think
another
most
thing,
people even understand the importance of it, candidly.
right? And number two, do you even have a plan to continuously maintain that data? Right. So, for example, I have training data of over 200 social. Well, really, it's 10,000 social media posts I've written since 2017. I have a guy named Clarence. He's been working for me for almost 10 years now. Actually, it'll be 10 years in February. I hired him so February next year it'll be 10 years. But at the end of every month, he goes back and he looks at my social media content. He copies and pastes it into a spreadsheet. He records how many comments, how many likes, how many shares, if it's long form, short form. Is it about politics? Is it about AI? Is it about branding? Is it about VAs? So I know I have all this data. But by the way, I had that before I knew about AI. So
Mm,
that's how I got a head start in all this.
I
Okay.
love it.
So the other thing I want you to think about: do you have a dedicated AI person on your team, or
Mhm.
is it you? Right? Like, Do you have someone who wakes up and their job is to like integrate AI within your operations, right? Do you have some sort of a leader or something on your team to actually help figure out what AI solutions need to be implemented and have a progress and can actually make progress doing it, right? Do you have a proper training plan in place to make sure your team actually is prepared to use AI, right? What about, do you have a plan for your workflows to look and see at your existing workflows? Can we make this better with AI? Right.
Mm,
Here's my favorite: is what does your organization do when it comes to AI? Do you have a plan? Have you assessed to see what type of damage AI could do to your industry? Right. So that's really what I would go for. Like those are the main, 4 or 5 questions there, which is just like, do you have a person? Do you have the data? Are you looking at how it's going to impact your business? Are you properly training your team on how to use it? And do you have a plan, right? Do you have a plan to review your existing workflows to integrate AI, and is it realistic, right? Like you have to
hmm
make sure there's a person who's driving it, because what I've found, it's a discussion in companies. There's no
Yeah,
point person who's driving this discussion. There's no point person who's actually reviewing and saying, okay, here's how we can improve things. You got to get serious with how you're using AI in your business before AI starts eating your business.
That's so good. That's so good. What for that those people that don't know where to start in your mind? What are the first steps, Jeff, that they should be taking? One of the things I'll tell you, I always advise is let's look for simple, repeatable tasks that you and your team are doing on a regular basis, and let's start with those because let's not get too complex. Let's not try to figure out how to replace our entire sales team day
Right.
one with an AI bot. What are your thoughts about how do they dip their toe in the water and then their foot in their leg without making a belly flop, so to speak?
I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real with you
Please.
here. Uh, People probably won't like to hear this. Um, it's just not sexy for a leader, especially a CEO, to say, "Hey, look, I was able to, delete half of my team. I was able to fire half of my team because of AI. They were able to do it better." Um, it's a tough balance between utilizing AI and automation and not looking like the Grinch who stole Christmas.
Mm,
So you have to figure out, the first step I would say is how to augment your team that you currently have, if you have a team, to make them do more. On an average, when I go into a business, I'm able to get at least 20 to 40% increase in productivity from a single team member. And even if all you did was get 20%, right? On a 5 day
yep.
work week, 20%, that's a day. That means you're getting a 6 day work week out of the same person in 5 days. That's massive for most companies. I did the math.
Absolutely.
If you do the math, because it's compounding, it's about a 900% increase in productivity from that one person over an entire year. That's pretty nuts. Okay.
It's crazy.
So if you look at it, it's basically like having 3 months free of work from the same person in a year. So you're getting like 15 months of work in 12 months. That's nuts.
hmm
Okay. So here's another thing that I want you to think about. So, if you're able to increase productivity of your team just by having them do simple things, for example, no one ever emails their people enough. No one ever emails their customers enough, right? So, you can use it to just generate more sales and leads, or you can use it to nurture and retain the clients you have. I'm a big fan of, instead of always trying to find new clients, just try to keep the ones you've got, you know?
100%.
Right? Most of the people that love you, they'll buy from you over and over and over. So I increase on LTV, lifetime value of a client. How can I add more value to my existing client base? Number two is, how do I make more money? That's,
Yeah.
for me personally, I might even lead with that, because saving time and money isn't as sexy as making more money. So I always go into a company and say, hey, look, what's the low hanging fruit, right? You've got a customer list, you've got 10,000 customers. Why don't we run a special? Why don't we run a promo? We use AI to create an offer. We use AI to make a sales page. We use AI to create an offer, a product description. We use AI to make some marketing emails, and we make some money. And that usually is a great thing. As a matter of fact, I think this gives us a massive opportunity right now to get into companies and actually provide massive value just by doing copy that they just usually have to hire someone to do, outsource. They have to hire some expensive
Mm-hmm.
marketing agency to do, or they have an overworked person in their company, right? Like even with AI, I've got an overworked person in my company.
Only
I've got
one? You're doing good, man.
I've got a queue. I've got a queue of stuff. I'm like, hey, how are you doing on this? How are you doing on that? Like even with AI, it's getting your backlog. So I think right now, and I do want to point out one last thing here, which is content is no longer king. It used to be that content is king. But now with AI, everyone can create good content, right? So you've really got to stand out. You got to have stellar content. You got to do two things. One thing I
Mm-hmm.
really admire about you, by the way, is thing number one. Thing number one is you have to build a community. And Jonathan, you've been fantastic with that. That's how I
Thank
actually
you.
contacted you, because at the
It
time,
was, yeah.
I think your Facebook group when I met you had like 100,000. Now you've got 200,000. That's
Yep.
nuts, right? So you got to build community. You have to what I call permission based marketing. You want people
Yes.
to give you permission. Say, I want to join your group. I want to learn from you. Okay. Number two is you got to build your brand authority. Okay. You have to be the person people can trust, because in this age of AI and automation and so many fake influencers, people are they just have a burning desire to see real people, to connect with real people that they can actually trust, that have a real thought process going on, not just asking ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. Fantastic. Well, Jeff, we could go on forever. We probably will at some point. But for those that are interested in learning more about what you do, contacting you, reaching, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Just go to jeffjhunter.com and click on that little about page, and jeffjhunter.com. I have my LinkedIn up there, my Instagram, and whatever you guys want to do. Also, I want to let you guys know that Jonathan and I, we want to help you guys skip the line. So Jonathan and I are actually building a bunch of already done tools that can help you write social media content, that can help write emails for you, that can help you come up with offers, that can actually help you design a t-shirt. By the way, I have a bunch of t-shirts that ChatGPT has designed for me. We have a bunch of cool tools that we've already created. We've already built that training data. We've already put the time in. And I would love for you guys just to check it out. Join Jonathan's Facebook group. He's a friggin' savage. Love him. And just stay on the lookout for some cool stuff. We're going to have links in the resources down below for you guys to check it out. But all the stuff that I've said that you should be doing in your business, I already have an app for that. Even if you're like too lazy to learn it yourself, we've got a tool that you can use. It's absolutely cheap. You can even have a free trial on it. Just try it out. That's all I'm asking. Just if you are in a place right now in your business where you're like, damn it, I know I should be using AI. I don't know where to start. Jeff had a bunch of cool things that he said that we should be doing. We're going to put a link down below for you to actually get involved and start using AI in your business right away.
Thanks, Jeff. No, I appreciate you sharing. And Jeff's right. We've been talking about that longer than we should have because of my schedule and your schedule, but mainly I think due to my schedule and my we were prepping, and Jeff's like, so my assistant keeps telling me you're not responding, and I'm like, that's because we got a podcast recording coming up, so I knew I didn't have to. So no, yeah, we do. Jeff and I have brainstormed about this, and Jeff gets a lot of the credit, if not most of it. If you guys want to imagine having essentially an entire office of custom trained AI personas to handle specific tasks for you. We're going to be offering that to you guys. We'll have details here very soon. If you're interested, comment, join my group, message me, message Jeff. We'll let you know as soon as that launches, but it will be very soon here. And for pennies, you're going to be able to have access to these custom trained avatars and personas that will literally be able to help your business grow today.
If you know what, why don't we just make a call out? Like,
Go
if
ahead.
you guys, this is something we're developing. If you guys are interested in this, wherever you're seeing this video, just drop a comment, AI tools. Just type AI tools. That way, me and Jonathan kind of have the red flag. We'll put you on our wait list because we're going to be releasing a dumb, simple set of AI tools that do everything that every business owner needs in their business. And we're going to have it at a stupid price. Like, we want you guys to be successful. We've already put the work in. We've already built it out. We just have to figure out how to sell it. So
I say we're better at the AI stuff. You know what? We could probably ask ChatGPT and Claude. They'd probably help us.
we still have to come up with a name for it. So for
Well,
now,
I
just put
guarantee.
AI tools, and then we're going to hook
Yeah,
you
I
up.
say AI tools is good for now. Yeah, and if somebody wants to come up with a name, maybe we should do a name contest. But that
That's a
that
good
sounds like
idea.
more work. Yeah,
We should.
awesome. Well,
Let's do it in your Facebook group. We'll do it.
all
We'll
right,
do the
sounds
name.
good. We'll do that. Jeff, thank you for your time today. I so appreciate it. I have absolutely loved getting to know you over the last few months and am ecstatic to be working with you on other things. It is so good to meet somebody in the AI space that also cares about delivering value. As you and I both know, there's a whole lot of people out there just trying to capitalize on it because it's new. And I absolutely cherish you for your desire to continue to want to add value. So thank you for all that.
Thank you for having me. And I'm excited to be here and add value to you guys. And hopefully you liked it. Feel free to connect with me, everybody. And again, I'm in Jonathan's group. Obviously, there's 200,000 people in there. So good luck finding me. But me and him will be making some posts. Just go in there, drop AI tools, and we'll hook you up.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching the 91 Day AI Transformation Podcast. We are thrilled to have you, thrilled that you joined us, and we will see you on the other side. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye bye.